All right, next step is when you're asking for a raise, you want to keep it as professional as possible. Prepare for your meeting. I don't suggest asking for a raise over an email or a text message. You can ask for a meeting over an email or text message. You want to know all the hours that you've been making over the last year or so since your last pay increase. You want to know if you can get a hold of all your metrics and all your numbers, write all that down or print it out and show it to them, present it to them. Give them the facts. Write down all the facts. I've made this many hours. I've done this. All my service writers and advisors can rely on me. I have very limited comebacks. I show up on time. I put in the extra work. Whatever you're doing that makes you feel like you deserve a raise, list your certifications. They may not know and probably don't know all of that right off the top of their heads. I mean, if you've asked for a meeting, they might have done some research, but go in there, and I want you to go in there and I want you to shoot high. I want you to shoot high because the fact is they're probably going to say something lower than what you want. And I feel like every technician or mechanic should be asking for a raise every year. It's very important because are the dealerships making more money? Are the shops making more money? The answer is yes. And if you're not advocating for yourself, no one will. You can't just expect there to work for 10 or 15 years and get a raise every year because it's just not the way things go. People aren't going to realize that. They're not going to think about it unless you're in their face about it. It's a tough conversation to have. You need to prepare for it. You need to do some research for it. It never goes the way you want. So no matter how hard you prepare, no matter the conversation, they're going to have their agenda and you're going to have your agenda. So it's about coming to a medium. And that's why I say shoot high, because at the end of the day, if you say you want $30 an hour and you're at 25, and they're like, well, we can only really give you 26 or 27 or whatever. What was your end goal there? Were you ultimately asking for 30 or were you really thinking you wanted the 27? Because if you shoot high, then you've already won. If they give you lower down, or maybe you ask for 30 and they give you 30, then you've already won. And you're like, I'm already ahead here. So I think talking about it can be very hard, and a lot of people are uncomfortable with it. And at this point, we'll have a call. If you're about to ask for a raise and you have all the metrics and you have all the information to prove it, we'll have a call and we'll discuss these things. We'll have a little scenario or a role play, if you will, and we can talk about how to ask for a raise and how to ask for more money, how to ask for those tough conversations, and setting up an email. I think emailing your managers instead of a meeting. You can throw some stuff in there at the same time. Hey, I really want to talk about this. My hours have been up over the last year. Prepare them for the positive. Prepare them for the good stuff. And that's when it comes back to everything we've been talking up to this point, is you got to prove yourself to everyone around you, because no one is just going to give you a raise. If you don't deserve it, and even if you do deserve it, sometimes they're just not going to give it to you. And that's maybe when it comes time to look at some other avenues, other dealerships, other shops. It's unfortunately some of the ways we have to go about asking for a raise. And I hate to say it, I hate to even have to bring it up because it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. And how can we adapt to that? How can we work with our environment to give ourselves more money, to give ourselves more of a higher hourly rate? All your certifications, all your tests, all your numbers, all your metrics, setting your goals. You achieved your goals, and while they might not be the goals that the dealership approved or set, if you show the dealership that you set all these goals for yourself and you achieve them, then what the heck? Why shouldn't you be earning that, right? And then if they tell you no, okay, then it's time to have a conversation about why. What can I do? What can Curtis do to get to that point? All right, we need to see more hours out of you. We need to see less comebacks. We need to see you're not being here on time. The guy next to you says all you do is say annoying stuff and they're negative all the time. It seems so silly, but if they're looking for those metrics and they're looking for certain things from you, it needs to be your goal for the next few months. You say, okay, I want $30 an hour. And they say, okay, well, we're not quite there yet. We need to see this from you, this from you. And then you're okay, so when's a good time to come back in here and talk about it? And then find out what the time frame is on things you need to do and things you need to say in that time frame. You want that raise as soon as possible, and be in their face about it. Continue to ask them. If you ask them for a meeting, I've been in this position to ask for a meeting. It took me 3 or 6 months to get a meeting. Unfortunately, I had to go to my GM to get the meeting, and within a week, I got the pay raise. So keep it in a timely manner. If you need to, I don't want to recommend going above your direct managers because that's only going to make them upset. But at the end of the day, it's important to you too. So continue to ask them, send them the emails, send them the reminders. Get in their office and advocate for yourself. Sell yourself to them and why you deserve that. And if you're not working on all these pillars up to this point, and you're just going in there expecting I can't help you. All I can do is help you advocate for yourself.